She was a loving person. She fed everybody. She'll give you the clothes off her back. And she was a fighter. She was in a wheelchair. She was paralyzed. And to see her arm kind of like draped it off that stretcher, it's heartbreaking. But at the end of the day, I know God has this thing at the end of it all.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to GPTV. If you're not subscribed to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Today, I have a story that is coming out of Houston, Texas. And shout out to everybody in Texas. A stabbing is under investigation at a funeral home in southwest Houston after multiple deceased bodies were reportedly found in poor condition due to air conditioning issues, according to one of the family members of the deceased. The Houston Police Department said that officers were called to Richardson Mortuary around 1:55 a.m. regarding a reported stabbing. The incident began when family members arrived at the mortuary and discovered that the facility had no functioning air conditioning, allegedly due to the ongoing construction. A relative of one of the deceased contacted the news, claiming that the bodies were scattered throughout the mortuary, some inside the caskets and others outside of them, and the conditions were unacceptable. A relative whose mother's funeral was scheduled for Saturday recorded the footage of the mortuary's interior. His sister told the news that her brother was stabbed by one of the funeral home's employees after they discovered their mother's body in an advanced state of decomposition, possibly related to the AC failure. I raised the casket up and I looked in it, and it was my mom. Had gnats already on her. She was sweating, said Tamara McGrubber Crooks. Houston Police Department said the fight between the man and also the employee started once he uploaded a video to social media. The employee got into a scuffle with the man before pulling out a knife. The victim drove himself to the hospital and was treated for minor injuries. Now, my condolences go out to the friends and the family members that had a loved one at this funeral home, the Richardson Mortuary in Houston, Texas. Now, there were a total of 10 bodies at this funeral home, decomposing, had gnats flying out of caskets, and also the place did not have any AC at all. What a shame.
Daniela and Keith, we spoke with HPD, and in the past 30 minutes or so, we've learned that 10 bodies were found inside this funeral home earlier today. Now take a look at this video that we received earlier today. This cell phone video is basically what helped prompt this investigation. A woman tells us she showed up here to the funeral home with her brother to check on her mother and uncle's bodies. She says she had a gut feeling something was not right. Inside, she found deplorable condition. She says there was hardly any air conditioning, and when she opened up her mother's casket, she says gnats flew out.
Now, people are already grieving and, trying to figure out what color to wear to the funeral, trying to figure out what to put on the obituary. I mean, people are already hurting because their loved one is deceased. And you would take their bodies and store them inside of a place with no AC, deplorable conditions, with gnats flying out of caskets. What type of business is that? Now, a woman said that her and her brother went to the funeral home to check on their mother because their mother's funeral was planned to be on a Saturday. So maybe they were trying to contact the funeral home to see what was going on, and no one was contacting them and also even communicating with them because they were concerned at the time. So they took matters into their own hands and went to the funeral home. And they got into the funeral home some way, and they found something very bad inside of this funeral home. They found bodies sitting inside on stretchers, and also, their arms were hanging off of, stretchers and stuff like that. They found these bodies in deplorable conditions. And also, there was construction going on at the time. So I'm saying to myself, if construction is going on at the time, why is there people around these dead bodies? Why couldn't they just do construction on the outside? And also, why isn't there any AC at the building? Now, the brother was upset, and he was heated because they opened up the casket of their mother and gnats flew out. Now, think about that, y'all. I would be upset. I would get into a rage because I am paying the funeral home money to take care of my loved one. And y'all are not taking care of my loved one at all. I mean, it will send me into a upset spirit. So the brother took out his phone and began to record.
After searching for their mother's body, Tamara and her brother discovered multiple deceased bodies laying in boxes, some on the floor, caskets, and no air conditioning.
It's not dignifying. It's very embarrassing. It's hurtful when you're already grieving. And to find not only your mom is not been taken care of, you have other people who does not even know that their family is here laying on the table. And these people are charging an arm and a leg, and the bodies are just laying there.
That was,
as you guys can see right here, there were bodies exposed, and there were also bodies laying around like they were trash. Bad business. So the brother got into it with an employee. Now the brother is upset and the employee is upset also. I don't know if the employee knew what was going on or not. Matter of fact, they had to know what was going on. But somehow, some way, they maybe was trying to calm him down. So they had to act in self-defense and stab the man.
Tamara and her brother had been observing the mortuary for days before deciding to enter and get answers. The confrontation led a staff member to stab Tamara's brother.
Now, there was also another woman that went to the mortuary to check on her brother. And she said that, her brother was supposed to be cremated. Come to find out, he was not cremated at all. They lied to her and they told her that her brother was cremated. Come to find out, he was still intact.
That was the case for Demetrius Riley Sylvester. The mortuary told her that they had cremated her brother's body, only to find out he was still intact.
It's like some trash or dog. Just throw it away like he trash. And she had me believing that he's already, we just waiting on him to bring the ashes.
And also, the sister of the brother that was stabbed by an employee at their funeral home said that she went to her mother's casket to open it up and gnats flew out.
She says there was hardly any air conditioning, and when she opened up her mother's casket, she says gnats flew out.
So imagine how she felt at that moment when she found out that her mother's body was not being properly taken care of. Now, also, she said that when she went inside that funeral home, it smelled like old blood and also death. And she also seen the old blood.
Death, like a body decaying. Death. You know how blood smells? You can see the blood. You can see when it didn't turn brown. You can smell everything. They have bodies on stretchers.
So now the funeral home is not even sanitizing the place properly. Now, a funeral home is supposed to be a business. They are hired to take care of deceased people, dress them, embalm them, and also cremation. And this funeral home right here was not doing their job at all. And I hope they did not take these bodies to the same funeral home at another location, Richardson Mortuary, because this place here does bad business. Now, the owner of the funeral home was in the hospital at the time.
The owner of the mortuary has been in the hospital recovering from a heart condition. Houston police says at this time he does not face any charges, but it could change as the investigation continues.
And this whole situation is just weird and also crooked. Now, the funeral home business and also the hospital can do janky business sometimes. Starting with the hospital. The hospital will steal organs from deceased bodies all day long without the family even knowing anything. That's why I do not even put organ donor on my license. Even though you may not even have organ donor on your license, they will still steal your organs. Now, it's not like you're going to go inside of your loved one or your friend's body to see if they have a heart or a liver, because, people are not going to do anything like that at all. You may have to hire somebody to do that. Now, also, down to the funeral home business, they steal also. They will steal money from the family, like not cremating your family member or your friend like they said that they were going to do. And they will send a vase to your house. And you may think that that's Uncle Bucky. And the whole time, it's not Uncle Bucky at all. It's ashes from wood that they burn in the back of the funeral home. You think that that's your uncle or your loved one in that vase at the house. And the whole time, it's not. And also, they will steal jewelry from your loved ones. It's very sick out there when it comes down to the funeral home business. This place needs to be shut down for good. It does not matter if they remodel the place or not. Do not send your loved one to Richardson Mortuary in Houston, Texas. It is not worth it. Now, I do not know if Houston, Texas has multiple locations of Richardson Mortuary or not. But do not send your loved one to this place when they die, because you see that they will not take care of your loved one at all. Sick. And some people may say to themselves, they are dead. They can't see. They can't taste. They are not alive. They do not know that it's hot inside that building. They do not need AC. It's not about the deceased feeling anything. It's about doing great business for people that are grieving and also going through a tough time trying to bury their loved one or their friend. This funeral home was taking advantage of families and loved ones and also friends during a hard time in their life. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment and let me know exactly what you guys think about this story here, because this story here is truly tragic and also sick and also crooked. Y'all have a good one, and y'all also have a blessed one. Until I see you all on another video, holla at you.